What's up, YouTube? This is Mathways97 and welcome to episode number 64 of my WWE 2K17 Universe Mode. We are back with more Monday Night Raw, 2 weeks away from the Payback pay-per-view, and we have got some massive matches in store for you here in El Paso, Texas. And kicking things off, we've got tag team competition. As it's time to get hyped. The Hype Bros, Mojo, Rowley, and Zack Ryder are here in El Paso, and they are set to take on, well, this is a Slammy Awards rematch, as we have the Hype Bros taking on Bo Dallas and Heath Slater of the Outcasts. Of course, at the Slammy Awards, back just before WrestleMania, it was the Hype Bros who took down the Outcasts. They walked out victorious, and tonight, for their sake, they are looking to repeat the same outcome. They're looking to go 2 for 2 against the Outcasts. But for the Outcasts, this is an important chance for them to bounce back. Of course, on the last episode of Universe Mode, Mega Main Event, Curtis Axel defeated Randy Orton to keep the Outcasts alive. They were able to, well, I mean, the fate of the Outcast was hanging in the balance. If Axel had lost to Randy Orton on Mega Main Event, the Outcast would have been forced to disband. But thanks to Curtis Axel's efforts, largely in part to a sit-out tombstone pile driver, the very same move that once, well, nearly paralyzed Stone Cold Steve Austin, Curtis Axel managed to defeat Randy Orton and keep the Outcasts in the game. However, if you want to talk about the game, Triple H, he's got an announcement later on this evening regarding that matchup. But obviously, if the Outcasts are out here tonight, then the decision was upheld. But I mean, you really have to think about Curtis Axel. The move that he used, a sit-out tombstone pile driver, that is not a move to be messed with. I mean, sure, there are a fair amount of moves in the professional wrestling world that, well, I mean, you don't see busted out all too often, because really they can. I mean, really, wrestling in general is not a very safe environment. Really, any move could go wrong at any time, but there are just certain moves that really up that risk. And Curtis Axel, that tombstone pile driver, if you want to talk about risk factor, that's definitely near the top of the list. But we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna focus on the matchup at hand. As there you see is Jack Swagger, flanked by Heath Slater and Bo Dallas, the two men who are going to be competing in this matchup. Curtis Axel not here at ringside tonight. Instead, it is Jack Swagger who is looking to aid the Outcasts here at ringside. Jack Swagger has been playing a very large part in the Outcasts' game plan as of late. Of course, it was at Extreme Rules. Oh, look at that shot by Bo Dallas. Of course, the referee trying to get these two apart. But Bo Dallas, of course, the Outcasts, they're not about respect, or at least not about competing respectfully. They demand respect. They're trying to earn it, but they certainly are not the most respectable competitors when it comes to in-ring competition. But look at that, Mojo Rowley bringing the hype, bringing the pain to Bo Dallas right now. And this is the thing, when you go up against a guy like Mojo Rowley, who is just 100% adrenaline all the time, he is just a wrecking ball, a machine in that ring. But Bo Dallas, Heath Slater, they've gone up against Mojo before. Now they've had a bit of a taste of that untamed, just that wild side of Mojo Rowley, that untamed energy, aggression. And now you'd have to imagine that they've come up with a game plan to address that. As right now, Mojo Rowley whipped into the corner, tag, no, not gonna be a tag made. As Mojo Rowley able to reverse, and now lining him up for a massive shot in the corner. You saw Heath Slater ducking that harm's way. And now Mojo Rowley, it's hammer time, as Mojo Rowley slams the fist straight into the face of Bo Dallas. And now he's going to hook the leg. Mojo Rowley having fun out there. Could be looking for a quick win, but he's not going to get it. Bo Dallas with a quick kick out. And now it looks like Mojo Rowley looking to make the tag to Zack Ryder, looking to get the Hype Bros in the in the driver's seat, but Bo Dallas with the counter, now a clothesline. And now Bo Dallas driving the boot straight into the sternum of Mojo Rawley. Of course, there's nothing pretty about Bo Dallas's recent, well, really just with the Outcasts in general. They have adapted a much more physical, much more aggressive style in that ring. This is definitely not the happy-go-lucky Bo Lever that we once came to expect from Bo Dallas. This is a completely new beast. As Mojo Rawley back to his feet now with a clothesline just leveled Bo Dallas rather. As he sees Jack Swagger at ringside not looking too pleased, but you know, it's only a matter of time. When is Swagger going to get involved in this matchup? You know, that's what the Outcasts are all about, the numbers game. But so far, Jack Swagger is keeping it clean. He's just taking a back seat, just watching, letting Bo Dallas do his thing. But right now, things are not looking too good for the Outcast. Mojo Rawley makes a tag to Zack Ryder. And Mojo's got Bo Dallas in a compromising position. Are you kidding me? Straight, look at this! The Hype Rider! The Hype Rider! Ryder hooks the leg, is that gonna do it? No, Heath Slater's there to break it up. I was not expecting, out of the blue, just like that, the Hype Bros looking for the Hype Rider, looking to put Bo Dallas away. But Heath Slater was right there, and now referee, you gotta get Slater out of the ring. He's not the legal man. Slater finally does duck out of the ring, but the damage has been done. Zack Ryder whipped into the corner. You see Heath Slater's right there. Just like a pack of wolves. Bo Dallas and Heath Slater just looking to tear apart Zack Ryder. Slater just waiting for his opportunity. As now the tag has been made. Zack Ryder whipped off the ropes. There's a double hip toss from Dallas and Slater. And now look at Slater just raking at the eyes of Zack Ryder. Nothing respectful about that. And now a double neck breaker delivered to Zack Ryder. You hear the crowd. The crowd starting to rally behind Ryder, starting to chant his name. Slater knocking Mojo Rawley off the ropes, trying to perhaps quell any potential rally before it can even begin. As Ryder, oh wait, Ryder with the counter. A reverse DDT, but Mojo Rawley's down on the outside. Ryder unable to make a tag. But it seems as though Zack Ryder starting to feed off the energy of the WWE Universe. Went for the crucifix, but Slater's legs reaching out to grab those ropes, force the break. As now Ryder whips him off the ropes, ducks underneath. Heath Slater off the ropes. And Zack Ryder takes him down with a flapjack. Zack Ryder starting to kick it into high gear. Hook of the leg on Slater. 1. Does he have him? 2. Does he have him? No. A kick out emphatically by Slater at a count of 2. As Ryder went for the strike, but Slater with the reversal. And now Zack Ryder backed into a corner. Heath Slater looking to get Ryder away from the potential tag. Looking to make a tag and bring Bo Dallas back into this matchup. That's just what he does. Drop toe hold from Slater and an elbow drop from Bo Dallas. And another one. Bo Dallas, it seems he's starting to go to work on the lower back of Zack Ryder. The Outcast doing a great job of dividing and conquering, isolating Zack Ryder in that ring right now. As there's another shot to the lower back and another one. Bo Dallas now looking to take Zack Ryder to the high rent district. And this is bad news for Ryder, but Ryder able to counter. An elbow to the face and off the top rope, you're kidding me! Ryder with a Rough Rider, not wasting any time as he hooks the leg again, but Slater's there again, and again. Slater makes the save. The Hype Bros have not been wasting any time, not pulling any punches in this matchup tonight. Oh, and now look at, you saw Slater a little hesitant to get in the ring, or to leave the ring rather. But Zack Ryder takes him out with a forearm to the face, now dumping him over the top rope. And now Zack Ryder going to work on Bo Dallas. But it really just does go to show that the Hype Bros are not underestimating the Outcasts here tonight. They're giving it their all out there. But unfortunately for them, they just have not been able to neutralize Heath Slater. Bo Dallas has taken a hell of amount of punishment. But even so, he's still in this matchup thanks to Slater. And now look at, oh wait, oh, counter! Mojo Rawley was getting hyped. But unfortunately, he gave Dallas too much time to recover. Dallas able to counter that full momentum of Mojo Rawley and drop him straight to the canvas with that spine buster. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. The Outcast with a powerbomb elbow drop combination. Hook of the leg on Mojo Rawley. 1, 2, And no, what? Bo Dallas was able to neutralize Zack Ryder with a spine buster, but somehow Mojo Rawley was able to kick out. Unbelievable display there by Mojo Rawley. The endurance of Mojo able to kick out. But I don't know if Mojo's got anything left in the tank. Slater's got him up on that top rope. Look out! Superplex! And Mojo Rawley is in a world of trouble right now. He might have only kicked out of that finisher on instinct. Is now a cover by Slater. 2. And it's over. I think Mojo Rawley, it was all on instinct. Just that pure adrenaline that just possesses him. That he was able to kick out the first time, but after that superplex, it was, oh, you're kidding me. No. The match is already over. The match is already over, but Bo Dallas is looking to pick the scraps, take out what's left of Zack Ryder. Obviously, the Outcasts did not take too kindly to being humiliated at the Slammy Awards. And now the Outcasts are looking to exact revenge on the Hype Bros as Zack Ryder, he's left laying on the outside. And now look at Jack Swagger getting involved as well. Jack Swagger tearing into Mojo Rawley right now. His Ryder is down on the outside. And now Swagger just pummeling Mojo. I mean, is anyone going to stop this? I mean, the Hype Bros are defenseless right now. Ryder's out cold. Mojo Rawley's out on his feet. Is now Jack Swagger, what do you... No, not on the floor. Powerbomb! The back of Mojo's skull. Bouncing off the concrete floor. But wait a minute, look at this. That's Adrian Neville. That's the United States champion. Adrian Neville looking to come to the aid of the Hype Bros here. Heath Slater trying to cut him off. But Adrian Neville ducks underneath. And now Adrian Neville taking out Heath Slater. And now, wait a minute. At ringside, Bo Dallas. Wait, that's Sami Zayn. Bo Dallas and Sami Zayn are going at it at ringside as Adrian Neville taking down Heath Slater. Now Dallas and Zayn have spilled into the crowd. The Hype Bros were taken out by the Outcasts, and now look at this. Adrian Neville powerbomb on the outside, out on that stage. And it seems as though Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville, they've got unfinished business from Extreme Rules. They're not done with the Outcasts, not by a long shot. You have to, especially you think Sami Zayn had a shot at the United States Championship taken away from him, thanks to the Outcasts. And Adrian Neville out here as well. Heath Slater's been taken out. Sami Zayn and Bo Dallas, it's a slugfest right now. Trading shots left and right, back and forth. As there's a knee lift straight to the midsection of Sami Zayn, as Zayn now driven into the barricade. Is now Swagger. Swagger tried to take a shot on Neville, but Neville with the reversal, and now springboard dropkick. Heath Slater's been taken out. Jack Swagger is in trouble. Bo Dallas is distracted with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and the United States champion Adrian Neville looking to get some payback of their own here tonight. As Swagger whips him into the corner. Whoa, went for the running knee. Went for the knee lift in the corner, but Adrian Neville able to dodge it. Now look at this. Adrian Neville going to work on the leg of Jack Swagger. Will turnabout's fair play, because it was Jack Swagger who applied the Patriot Lock to Adrian Neville at Extreme Rules. Tried to break his ankle. And now Adrian Neville returning the favor, giving Swagger a taste of his own medicine. As look at Adrian Neville just wrenching that leg with a dragon leg screw. Oh, but Swagger's back to his feet. Swagger counters with a back body drop. As Jack Swagger now taking control of the United States champion. Of course, it was at Extreme Rules that the Outcast ruined that matchup. Jack Swagger was the man standing tall, holding the United States championship up in the air. Jack Swagger perhaps looking to become a 4-time United States champion here in the series. The first ever 4-time champion. As Adrian Neville driven into the ring post, and then back down to the canvas with a power slam. And Jack Swagger is just on a rampage right now. He's got nobody to help him, but Neville's got nobody to bail him out. The Hype Bros have been laid out. Sami Zayn is preoccupied with Bo Dallas. But Adrian Neville is standing his ground. He's holding his own. As now, Sami Zayn's got Bo Dallas. Blue Thunder Bomb on the concrete floor. Bo Dallas has been laid out by Sami Zayn. And meanwhile in the ring, Adrian Neville has got Jack Swagger in a prone position to the top rope. Red Arrow. Adrian Neville gets some redemption, gets some revenge on Jack Swagger. Sami Zayn gets some revenge against the Outcasts. And well, it seems as though this situation between the Outcast, the United States Champion, and Sami Zayn is far from over. In fact, this might only be the beginning. As backstage there is AJ Styles, the #1 contender. Well, that was Carl Anderson of the club looking to perhaps extend an olive branch to AJ Styles, saying, hey, we've got your back. But AJ Styles, it seems as though, well, he doesn't want to win that way. AJ Styles, if he's going to become the next World Heavyweight Champion, he wants to do it on his own. And, well, didn't seem as though Carl Anderson was too happy with that. Well, be interesting to see how that plays out. But for right now, we have got some singles action coming up next. As there you see, these are the tag team champions. Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, the primetime players. Of course, as the tag team champions, that does give you the right, the privilege to appear on both brands. And that is exactly why the primetime players are out here tonight, looking to perhaps scout out their competition. Although I guess it's not really scouting out the competition, because Darren Young is going to be competing himself against, well, I don't think it's even really a question, against the team that is at the top of the list right now, the top of the contenders rankings. This is Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy. And of course tonight Darren Young is going to be taking on Buddy Murphy in singles competition. You can't forget that at Extreme Rules, it was Blake and Murphy who defeated the Revival in a 2 out of 3 falls tag team matchup, which effectively, I mean, I'd say before that matchup, going into it, you had to think that the winner of that match was maybe not necessarily a shoo-in for the #1 contender spot, but you had to admit that they would be near the top of that list. If not #1, well, they definitely would have been the #2 contenders. But Blake and Murphy have continued to impress, even after that match at Extreme Rules. And now it seems as though they are, well, right in prime position to be the next team to take on the primetime players. And tonight they've got a golden opportunity to cement that spot as the top contenders. Buddy Murphy, if he can defeat Darren Young tonight, you have to believe that Blake and Murphy will be, well, I would say that would all but guarantee themselves a shot at those tag team titles. But I guess the question is, if they lose here, well then, what's next for Blake and Murphy? Who's next for the primetime players? Well, let's not jump to any conclusions. Gotta wait to see how this matchup plays out first. As right now, Darren Young, well, we saw a collar and elbow tie-up. It's Darren Young who, well, Darren Young had taken the upper hand, but Buddy Murphy able to navigate out of that hold. And now it looks like Darren Young going to escape, sending Buddy Murphy off the ropes, ducks underneath. And a leapfrog over the top. Buddy Murphy off the ropes, but Buddy Murphy catches him with a drop kick. What a display there between these two men. It's now counter and arm drag. Buddy Murphy taking down Darren Young. Darren Young now with the counter. It's back and forth between these two men. Counter after counter. Very impressive display of in-ring prowess by Darren Young and Buddy Murphy. It is just back and forth. Neither man can gain a clear advantage in this matchup. As Darren Young, Irish whip, sending Buddy Murphy into the corner. Oh, he went for the flying forearm, but Buddy Murphy was able to sidestep it. And now Buddy Murphy has got Darren Young up in the air. Vertical suplex. And you have to imagine this would be a very interesting matchup, to say the least. I mean, even just right now, looking at this singles matchup, of course, the primetime players, they're not all too unfamiliar with Blake and Murphy. If you cast your minds all the way back to the King of the Ring tournament, the final match in that tournament was Titus O'Neil versus Seth Rollins. And during that matchup, it was Blake and Murphy who came down to ringside, who, were wreaking havoc, who were, trying to give Seth Rollins the edge in that matchup, trying to help catapult him to a victory. But then, as they were, attempting to cause chaos at ringside, it was Darren Young and Dean Ambrose who ran down to ringside and broke things up, who gave Titus O'Neil a fighting chance. And ever since then, we haven't really seen, I don't think the two teams have crossed paths since then. It has certainly been a long time, but you have to imagine that that encounter would be sitting in the back of their minds. These teams, it's not like they're complete strangers. They have met once before. As Buddy Murphy takes down Darren Young, able to slip out of that hold. Although, of course, things are different now as far as Blake and Murphy goes. Back then, they were, not exactly well-liked by the fans, whereas nowadays, both of these teams are definitely fan favorites. As Buddy Murphy goes for the pin, but Darren Young, a quick kick out at a count of 1. As Buddy Murphy now has got Darren Young in a headlock, delivers the knee straight to the face. Now a spinning kick. Darren Young dazed up against the ropes, and a massive clothesline by Buddy Murphy, sending Darren Young to the outside. Buddy Murphy looking to follow him out there. Of course, the referee will begin the count. These two men have it up until the count of 10 to get back inside the ring. As Buddy Murphy drags Darren Young over to the barricade. Mr. No Days Off is in a world of trouble as Buddy Murphy hangs him out across that barricade, just crushing the life out of Darren Young. Buddy Murphy tossing Darren Young back inside the ring, looking to follow him in with a springboard forearm straight to the face. Beautiful move there, beautifully executed by Buddy Murphy as he hooks the leg. 2, but no. Darren Young with the kick out. And honestly, if these two teams were to come to blows, it'd be an interesting confrontation, because even just looking at this singles matchup, it really just goes to show how the primetime players, they have been on a roll as of late. They've been on fire. Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake a bit more inconsistent, but recently they definitely have turned that corner. They've gotten past the revival, and now it's hard to argue that this team is, it's really hard to argue against the fact that these two are in perhaps the best shape of their careers. As Buddy Murphy able to slip out of that attempted power slam, countered it into a side Russian leg sweep, and now Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy ascending to the high rent district. As Buddy Murphy calling him out, saying, you're my target. He's measured him, and he drills him with the Meteora double knees straight to the shoulders. And is that going to do it? Is that going to put Darren Young away? 1, 2, no. Try as he might, Buddy Murphy just cannot put away the champion. He cannot put down Darren Young. As Young is back to his feet, look at this. Haymaker shot by Darren Young. These two men giving it their all in that ring. Darren Young has got Buddy Murphy up in the air, and he's going to hang him out on that top rope. As Darren Young now trying to rally the crowd, trying to call Buddy Murphy to his feet. And he takes him down with a float over neck breaker. But Darren Young's not done. Darren Young is just getting started. He's starting to channel that second wind. As Buddy Murphy is in trouble, Darren Young drops him straight on his face. Buddy Murphy, this could be the beginning of the end as Darren Young is heating up the crowd. He's feeling it. Could we see a gut check in the works? He's got him up on his shoulders. But Buddy Murphy forces his way out with the elbows to the side of the skull. And he hits him with a kick to the midsection. European uppercut to follow it up. And that was a close call for Buddy Murphy. Darren Young nearly had him with that gut check. But now Buddy Murphy looking to hit him with his finisher. There, he nails it. The Murphy's Law is in effect. Hook of the leg on Darren Young. 1, 2, and 3. Buddy Murphy picks up the win over Darren Young. And I'd have to say that cinches it. That clinches it. Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, you might as well call them your new #1 contenders. And this matchup has dangerous implications if these two teams are to come to blows at Payback. Buddy Murphy scoring the pin over Darren Young, halting the momentum of the primetime players. Could we be looking at the next tag team champions? During last week's Beat the Clock challenge, Seth Rollins suffered a concussion at the hands of Sheamus. Not only does Rollins refuse to take time off, however, he has requested a match against the Revival, and next week he will get his wish when he takes on Scott Dawson in singles action. In other news, Triple H made an announcement earlier today that Curtis Axel has been fined $25,000 for using the sit-out tombstone piledriver in his match against Randy Orton on Mega Main Event. Randy Orton was not injured, thankfully, but Triple H says he will not be taking any chances with the move that nearly paralyzed Stone Cold Steve Austin. He also made it clear that if Curtis Axel uses that move again, he will be suspended indefinitely. So while Triple H hasn't been as much of a stickler for high-impact moves in the past, this seems to be one move, one particular maneuver that he just will not budge on. He is willing to uphold the outcome of that main event matchup, but what this means for the future of Curtis Axel is uncertain. And if you want to talk about matchups that have big implications for Payback, you're looking at one of them right here. Of course, this is yet another qualifier for that 6-woman battle royal to determine the #1 contender for Asuka's Women's Championship at Payback. And this is 1/3 of the Divas Empire. This is Tamina Snuka. And Tamina Snuka, definitely the powerhouse of the Divas Empire. We already saw Summer Rae advance into the matchup by defeating Bayley. Now, the question is, will Tamina Snuka be able to repeat the same feat? Will Tamina cement her spot in that Payback Battle Royal? And that could have frightening implications for that matchup, because in a Battle Royal, it's every person for themselves. But if you can find a partner, if you can have an ally in that kind of a matchup, it's only going to make it all the more easier for at least one of you to come out on top. And especially when you're going up against a united force like the Divas Empire. I mean, yeah, they are a bit egotistical, so it'd be interesting to see if they would come to blows, or if they could manage to pick one person for the greater good to, you know, if it really did come down to Summer Rae and Tamina, would they be able to choose any one person to take the win for the Empire? I don't know. But that would definitely be a dangerous, it's certainly a possibility. Dangerous implications for a matchup like that, because all they really would have to do, work together, get rid of the other 4 women in the matchup, and then, no matter what, the Divas Empire have won the match. So, for the sake of every other person in that matchup so far, for the sake of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, the 2 women who have already qualified for this Battle Royal, you have to imagine that they're going to be pulling for Nikki Bella in this matchup. They don't want to see the Divas Empire take 2 spots in this matchup. But they're just going to have to wait it out. This definitely is a good opportunity for those 3 to scout out the competition here, figure out who's going to be jumping in line next. Of course, there are still 2 other spots remaining after this matchup. And there's still a lot of game challengers that could potentially fill those roles. But right now, it's Nikki Bella, who has had history with the Divas Empire in the past. Tamina Snuka straight out of the gate with a big boot. Look to try to kick her teeth clean down her throat. Tamina Snuka not wasting any time here. She's going straight on the attack on Nikki Bella. Of course, Nikki Bella has had history with, I guess, well, not only has she had history with the Divas Empire, Summer Rae and Tamina, but I guess their newest member, Brie Bella. Well, Nikki, she's all too familiar with her sister Brie. It was at the Slammy Awards that Brie Bella defeated Nikki, forced her to tap out. And it seems as though the situation between those 2 sisters, those 2 siblings, is yet unresolved. So perhaps, you never know, Brie Bella has yet to compete, yet to qualify for one of these matchups. Perhaps we could see a confrontation between Nikki and Brie Bella, should Nikki win this matchup and should Brie win her own. It's definitely a possibility. That's the thing with a multi-competitor battle royal like that, is that anything can happen. You really can get all sorts of different matchups you've never even seen before. And because it is an inter-brand matchup, you don't have to worry about the brand barriers. Of course, really the only person who can float between brands right now is the women's champion, Asuka. Very similar to the tag team championship situation, where as long as you've got the title, you're free to go wherever you want. And when you're someone like Asuka, who has just been dominating since you walked in the door, I mean, I'd imagine for someone like Asuka, the more competition, the better. As Tamina Snuka goes for the pin off the two-handed choke slam, but Nikki is able to kick out, able to remain defiant. As now she delivers a shot to the midsection, Tamina Snuka staggers back. Oh my God! Talk about a retaliation. Tamina Snuka, a massive uppercut, just floored Nikki Bella. And just when it looked like Nikki was starting to potentially get back in this matchup, Tamina Snuka just kicks it up another notch, kicks it into an even higher gear. As she has been very aggressive in this matchup, just lots of strikes in this matchup. That's what you'd expect from Tamina Snuka, and of course you cannot deny Tamina Snuka's abilities. She is a former Divas champion. The same can be said for Nikki Bella as well. Nikki, the final Divas champion in the series. As now Nikki Bella, she's got Tamina Snuka taking her down with that STO. Tamina Snuka's in a bit of trouble as Nikki Bella brings her to her feet. Forearm to the face, Tamina staggered against the ropes, but Tamina, oh! Well, Nikki was able to hang on for dear life. Oh, and now Nikki Bella strikes back with a forearm. Nikki Bella springs to the top rope, Tamina's in trouble, out on her feet! And Nikki Bella floors her with a missile dropkick. And Nikki Bella's trying to fire up the crowd. Of course, the Bella twins don't exactly have the prettiest record. Oh! When it comes to reputation with the fans, but Nikki Bella's been starting to garner their appreciation as now she hooks the leg on Tamina, and no! Tamina able to kick out at two. Of course, when you're in a situation like the one Nikki Bella is in, where you really are your back's against the wall, it's 3-on-1 when you take on the Divas Empire. Perhaps even if it's just merely out of sympathy, the fans at least have something. They can see something positive out of what Nikki Bella brings to the table. Of course, Nikki, she has been a much more respectable competitor as of late than she has been in the past. So I would think it's only natural that the fans would start to gravitate towards her as opposed to her sister Brie. As now Tamina Snuka able to slip out of that submission hold. Tamina Snuka has got Nikki Bella. Oh my God, just working away at the lower back of Nikki Bella. As Tamina Snuka right now. Very critical matchup for this Battle Royal. The winner of this matchup could really, I mean, the face of that Battle Royal would be altered dramatically based on whoever wins this matchup. Because like I said, if Tamina wins, then that's already two members of the Divas Empire with perhaps Brie Bella yet to come. Whereas if Nikki Bella wins, well then that at least is able to neutralize 1/3 of the Empire. Oh, was a Samoan drop delivered there by Tamina Snuka. As now Tamina, she's going over to the corner, scaling the ropes. Nikki Bella trying to force her way to her feet, but Tamina Snuka has got her in her sights with a, no! Tamina, I think she was looking for a diving clothesline, maybe a shoulder block. But either way, Nikki Bella caught her with a power slam and just decked her with that vicious forearm. Tamina Snuka trying to stumble back to her feet, but nobody's up there. Tamina Snuka's out like a light, and Nikki Bella looks to finish her off with the rack attack. And that could do it. That could be curtains for Tamina. Nikki hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and Nikki Bella punches her ticket for the Battle Royal at Payback. She joins Summer Rae, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss. Are we looking at the next #1 contender for the Women's Championship here? Or is it going to be one of the 3 we've already seen qualify? Or will it be one of the 2 we've yet to see qualify? Who knows, but there you see is the field right now. Charlotte, Summer Rae, Nikki Bella, and Alexa Bliss. And of course, the winner of that matchup will go on to face the Women's Champion Asuka later in the night. Last week, Kalisto was brutalized at the hands of Samoa Joe during the Beat the Clock challenge. And earlier today, I attempted to reach out to Sin Cara for an interview on why he did not get involved in the situation himself, why he did not come to his partner's aid. And the only comment I was able to get out of Sin Cara was this: if he got into that match himself, he could get out of it himself. It seems as though the situation between the Lucha Dragons only continues to deteriorate, which brings into question what exactly it was that Curtis Axel said to Sin Cara several weeks ago, and what that could potentially mean for the future of the Outcasts and the Lucha Dragons. Are the Outcasts perhaps scouting Sin Cara to be their next member? Are the Outcasts simply looking to tear apart the Lucha Dragons, simply looking to spread more chaos throughout Monday Night Raw? I guess only time will tell. We'll have to wait for answers in the future, but right now, it's main event time as Randy Orton steps up to take on the World Heavyweight Champion, Cesaro. And welcome back to El Paso, Texas for the main event of Monday Night Raw. This one, we've got the World Heavyweight Champion in the building as Randy Orton, the Viper Randy Orton, will take on the World Champion, the Swiss Superman, the King of Swing, Cesaro. This matchup, well, this is going to be a big match for Randy Orton. As we heard earlier on from Triple H, well, not from the man directly himself, but Triple H, of course, not very happy with Curtis Axel's actions. Axel has been fined for the use of that sit-out tombstone pile driver, and if he ever uses it again, he will be suspended indefinitely, if not worse than that. But fortunately for Randy Orton, he did not suffer a major injury, and as far as I'm aware, he is in good health. But you have to imagine that his mental well-being, his confidence certainly is not at 100% tonight. I mean, think about it. Randy Orton, this is a guy who has ended careers in this series. He ended the career of Curtis Axel's partner, Damien Sandow, over 6 months ago. But now, I mean, he was just defeated by Curtis Axel, a man who he once considered a jobber. I mean, I'm sure that's not going to sit too well with Randy Orton, but, I mean, he's got the opportunity tonight to bounce back. Triple H arguably giving him a very generous shot here at the World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, this is a non-title matchup, but still, Randy Orton, he was involved in that Fatal 4-Way at Payback, and he came up short. You'd think that Randy Orton would go to the back of the line, but if Orton can defeat Cesaro here tonight, sure, the matchup at Payback may already be a done deal, but Randy Orton, if he can get the win here tonight, he might line himself up for the next pay-per-view, for Battleground. That's the thing with this. That's the thing when it comes to these championships, is that if you can get, I mean, really, regardless of your track record, if you can get a win over the champion, immediately you're going to be thrown into the mix as a real threat. Of course, it would definitely help to have a fair amount of wins behind you to really have the momentum on your side, but if you can pick up an upset over the champion and play the role of spoiler, well, just like that, you could find yourself next in line for a title shot. That's always a possibility. That's the pressure that the World Heavyweight Champion Cesaro is always going up against when he steps in that ring, is that any superstar he goes up against is gunning for him. Cesaro's the top dog. He's the face of Monday Night Raw, and he's the man that everybody's gunning for. As Cesaro takes down Randy Orton. Nice display of chain wrestling there, but it's Cesaro. It's Cesaro who comes out on top over the Viper. As another collar and elbow tie-up, and again it's Cesaro who ducks behind, takes the upper hand, but as I say that, Randy Orton with the reversal. It's a battle of technical prowess right now, as Cesaro able to slip out of it, and again Cesaro's got the upper hand. But just as I say that, Randy Orton reverses yet again, and he's got control. But now it's Cesaro backing him up against the ropes, creating separation. Cesaro ducks underneath. And a leapfrog over the top. Randy Orton off the ropes into a clothesline. Back up to his feet, and Cesaro nearly took his head off with a vicious European uppercut. And there you see Cesaro playing it up to the fans, playing it up to the crowd. Cesaro, of course, he fights to put on a good show for these people, as Cesaro with a springboard European uppercut. Cesaro not pulling any punches as he hooks the leg. 2. But Randy Orton able to kick out. Cesaro, he has faced off against Randy Orton numerous times in the past. He's not messing around against the Viper. He knows the threat that Orton poses. And plus, I mean, Cesaro knows that he's got a hell of a match, a hell of a fight in store for him at Payback when he takes on AJ Styles. And especially now that the club have you know, gotten into talks with AJ Styles. I mean, you never know. Perhaps they'll take matters into their own hands. Styles might not want the help. But, I mean, really, when you're in, I mean, the club, Styles, maybe that's just putting on airs. You never really know when it comes to alliances like that. I mean, just imagine if you had a group like the Shield, for example. Think of the Shield. If you have, like, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw, or on SmackDown, rather. I'm getting all confused. But let's say that they don't talk to each other right off the bat, but then just out of the blue, they decide, you know, I don't like what this guy's doing. Let's say Dean Ambrose, for example. Roman Reigns is off in his own business, but Dean Ambrose says, you know what, I feel like I want to give this guy a helping hand. He might not want my help, but I'm his friend, so I'm gonna bail him out. Perhaps that's what the club are gonna do with AJ Styles. You never really know. I mean, of course, the club, they have ties existing prior to the WWE over in other companies like New Japan, but I don't know, the times have changed. Getting off on a bit of a tangent there, I do apologize. Better focus back on the match at hand, because I'm sure a guy like Randy Orton would not be too happy that I was overlooking him, that I was focusing on AJ Styles, of all people. We know that Randy Orton has history with AJ Styles. Randy Orton, not very good history with AJ Styles, of course. He did defeat the man at Roadblock, but he was pinned by Styles at WrestleMania. And then, of course, at Extreme Rules, Randy Orton unable to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, Styles did not capture the title either, but in the Beat the Clock Challenge, Orton potentially had a chance to punch his own ticket, but unfortunately he was defeated by Sami Zayn. And then, of course, Orton took out his aggression on Finn Balor. It'll be interesting to see. Of course, Finn Balor has not really spoken out about Randy Orton as of yet. Wait a minute. Oh, that's vintage Orton right there with the backbreaker, but he hung him out on that middle rope as well for added impact. And now the cover, but Cesaro gets the shoulder up. Randy Orton, that is not the face of a man who is... It's not the face of a happy man. As Randy Orton now has got Cesaro by the back of the head, dragging him over to the ropes. As Randy Orton looking hang him out to dry on that top rope, crushing the air out of the lungs of Cesaro. And now Randy Orton is measuring him. Oh, a boot straight to the abdomen again, crushing the life out of him. But of course, Randy Orton, you have to think that Finn Balor was destroyed by Randy Orton backstage. I mean, Balor, he had a good opportunity to potentially, you know, work his own way into a title match with Cesaro. But because of Randy Orton, Finn Balor was unable to really put up much of a fight against AJ Styles. Really, it was because of Randy Orton that Styles was able to win the Beat the Clock Challenge in the first place. I mean, if it wasn't for that, you'd have to imagine that Samoa Joe would be the man getting the shot. I mean, we saw how quickly Samoa Joe was able to dispose of Kalisto. I mean, really, the main event has been completely shaken up here on Monday Night Raw, but Randy Orton, a former world champion, he's always... Wait a minute. I was going to say he's always dangerous, always in the mix. But Cesaro able to reverse. And now it's Cesaro who's looking dangerous. It's Cesaro looking to take control. As the Viper whipped into the corner. And here comes Cesaro with the European uppercuts. 5 devastating, ferocious European uppercuts to the chin of Randy Orton. Cesaro with another full out of steam delivers another one. Randy's out on his feet, and Cesaro with a missile drop kick. Just a standing drop kick, rather. Straight to Randy Orton, floored him. And now Cesaro, Northern Light suplex, looking to Brit. Nope, not going for the pin. Cesaro gonna turn it into a brainbuster. And that's signature Cesaro right there. As now Cesaro drags him to the center of the ring. But of course, he's not gonna go for the pin. Cesaro's got other plans in mind as Randy Orton, the Viper, is going for the ride. Around and around and around and around and around as Cesaro, the Swiss Superman, the king of swing, swings Randy Orton into oblivion. And the crowd is electric. Not a single person is sitting down in this arena. They're all on their feet, giving Cesaro a standing ovation as the Swiss Superman could be closing in on the win here. A European uppercut. Orton is dazed. Cesaro whips him off the ropes. And no, he went for another European uppercut, but Randy able to dodge it. And Randy Orton, RKO! RKO by Randy Orton, hook of the leg, 2, and he's done it. Not so fast, says Cesaro, the world champion. Powers out at a count of 2.9. How close was that? Randy Orton is livid right now. He hit him with his best shot, the RKO, but Cesaro's still able to kick out, and now the world champion dumped to the outside. Orton is absolutely furious right now. Wait a minute, look at the stage. That's Finn Balor. Finn Balor is out on the stage right now, folks. Randy Orton. Well, Orton, I mean, he's got to focus on Cesaro. Well, so much for that. Randy Orton, he's going up to confront Finn Balor here. We've got a matchup going on. The referee trying to keep this under control, trying to bring Orton back to the ring. Oh, but this looks like it could go, folks. And indeed it will. Randy Orton throws the first strike, and now they're throwing hands. Finn Balor and Randy Orton back and forth up at the stage. This matchup has been thrown out, it's safe to say. And now you saw security trying to break them apart. They're at it again. But they've managed to pull them apart. Security, the referees, managing to separate Finn Balor and Randy Orton. And meanwhile, Cesaro, well, this match is over. As Cesaro back to, wait a minute! In the ring, AJ Styles, phenomenal forearm! The #1 contender, AJ Styles, lays out Cesaro with a phenomenal forearm. And the message has been sent loud and clear. AJ Styles is not going to hold anything back against Cesaro. He's going to give it his all. And Cesaro is going to do the exact same. You cannot deny that. Well, we're out of time, folks. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Monday Night Raw. And until next time, keep on YouTubing.